Here's what's coming up tonight.
So the boom's over. Home prices are sliding. Look at the flip side, though. Now you can actually afford that dream house. Not so fast, says our next guest. Welcome to the new normal. We'll explain. Plus, building boom, building trouble, building stock bubble? Does plunging real estate spell more trouble for Wall Street? The answer when your CNBC survival guide, Real Estate What Now, returns right after this.
Welcome back to our CNBC Survival Guide. Tonight we're talking real estate, and apparently we're getting a lot of questions in from you folks that are of the same nature, which I'm going to pose to our panel very quickly. We're talking about a market that's losing altitude for the most part in many parts of the country. Those that were the hot markets are now some of the cooler markets. And a lot of people want to know, how much lower could it go, and where do you think we see a bottom in this market? And I'll go around the horn very quickly. Bob Shillett?
Well, I think declines are likely in the next year, but slight declines. After that, it's hard to forecast, but there's a chance that in many cities we'll see over the next 5 years a gradual deflation of the market.
David Lurie.
Again, I disagree. I think what's going to happen is all real estate is local, so it depends on the local marketplace. There are some markets that are vulnerable and fragile right now to interest rate rises, and they could get hurt. But there are other markets where the local economies are very healthy. There's job gains. I think that will minimize the downturn in those local areas.
You're not going to answer the question, right? And you're going to agree with him?
I absolutely agree with David. It is a total localized marketplace, and everybody needs to look at where they're at in their particular market. You're going to have some. We haven't seen a lot of decline in prices. Prices are still moving up. We've seen decline in number of sales.
Right.
But that's in comparison to the largest marketplace we've ever had in the history of real estate. So naturally, we've seen a little cooling of the market.
I think in the areas where you've seen the fastest increases over the last 5 years, you'll see the fastest declines. I think that's where you had most of the speculative buying. I think in the bedroom communities of your major cities where the jobs market is strong, you'll see a very steady decrease of maybe about 5%.
All right, well, regardless of where you live, it seems that affording a home is not getting any easier. According to a new report from Harvard University's Joint Center for Housing Studies, nearly 16 million households now spend more than half their income on housing. That's a 14% jump from just 5 years ago. Nicholas Ratsinas spearheaded that Harvard report. He says when it comes to home prices, you'd better get used to a new normal. What is that new normal, Nick?
Well, it wasn't about 50 years ago. The rule of thumb was a house should cost about twice what you make. We've reached a point now where it's 4, 5, 6 times what you make. The good news is appreciation is slowing, and we even see some declines. The bad news for consumers wanting to buy is at the same time interest rates are going up, reducing their purchasing power.
In fact, that's how you measure some of the overheated markets, is when you do see home prices that are, what, 4 times the ratio, 4 times of average income in that area, right?
That is one of the factors. I mean, the number we look at is jobs. Okay. As long as the jobs are growing, then that probably means prices aren't going to fall precipitously, shutting out that first-time home buyer.
Here we are at 4+% unemployment rate right now. We're at what economists usually call full employment. I mean, that should mean a pretty good housing market, right?
Well, it means it's probably stable. There are areas of overbuilding. As your panel has pointed out, there are pockets where there is substantial overbuilding. Overbuilding does lead to price correction. But again, for that family wanting that first home, they're not looking to invest. They're just looking to live in a home. It's going to be hard with the interest rates going up.
Where do you think we are in this cycle that David Lurie was talking about, where when we make the transition from a seller's to a buyer's market, the sellers remain stubborn, prices remain high for a while or in place before they start to decline? Where are we there, do you think?
Prices are sticky now. I think prices are likely to stabilize. The big unknown is if the economy starts to turn. If the economy starts to turn, we start to lose jobs, then some of those new mortgages that people took out, they're not going to have the escape valve. When they took out a mortgage that they couldn't pay, well, they put their house on the market. Today, it's not that easy.
Comments, anybody?
Yeah, I have to make a comment. I agree 100% with you in terms of the most important thing we look at in terms of what's going to take place in the real estate market is jobs. Without a job, you're not going to get a mortgage. Without a mortgage, you're not going to get a house. you still have to, I mean, we sit here and look at, and this little cooling period that you've talked about, I think there are a number of things that's going on. You've got real estate agents that were working in a boom market, and so now they're trying to adjust and move to it. You've got sellers that are looking, saying, geez, why can't I get those prices? And now they've got to adjust to the point that, you know, that they're there. You've got buyers that were jumping out there trying to put offers on homes just so that they could get something, and now they've got an opportunity to look at the overall market. But I think one of the biggest things is that we've seen interest rates, the front end number on that interest rate jump from a 5 to a 6 and stay there. Psychologically, I think that's had an effect on individuals in terms of buying, but when you look at the actual price difference on a monthly payment, right, it is not that big.
You know, I recall the first mortgage I took out, my wife and I did in 1982. 1982, let's all remember, those of us who were around then buying homes, what the rates were. 16 and 5/8. I mean, and we were still buying at that point. That's a chart going back 25 years of the 30-year mortgage rate out there, and I bought it just about at the peak there. Nick Racinas, at 6+% right now, why would we be talking about a softening of this market? This is still a very healthy and low mortgage rate, isn't it?
Well, it is trending up. You have to match interest rates with price. Prices are high. The new mortgage products sort of smooth the process of those rising interest rates. It's pretty clear that the trends are to increasing interest rates. That's going to put a real challenge to people wanting to buy.
Is there a 30-year rate that you would start to get nervous about for this market even more? We're at 6.7% nationally on average this week.
I think if it kept trending up slowly, it wouldn't be a significant problem, but once you reach 7.5, if you're back to 8, then I think it would start to have a real dent in the market.
Nick Racinas, good to see you. Thanks
you
for joining us tonight. Much more to come this evening here on CNBC's Survival Guide. Watch.
Is the real estate boom on Wall Street over too? Or can you still hammer home some gains if you buy now? Plus, build another bathroom or renovate your kitchen. Will it add value to your home? We asked one expert who knows the answer, Susie Orman. And think you've got it rough? We'll take you to one neighborhood where slashing the price by $9 million doesn't even guarantee your house will sell.
This is your CNBC Survival Guide. Real estate, what now? Once again, Bill Griffith.
And we do welcome you back. We're going to do this every Thursday night during the summer, our CNBC Survival Guides. Tonight it's about real estate, and as the housing market has softened, home builders are going to unusual lengths to get people to buy their homes. Jane Wells has more on the desperate house sellers. Good evening, Jane.
Hi, Bill. I'm at the Milestone development built by Syntex here in Santa Clarita. 14 months ago, Bill, on this very network, people were calling real estate Viagra for investors. Well, the Viagra's worn off, and now builders are trying to come up with all kinds of incentives and gimmicks to move the merchandise. Would you buy a $1 million condo in Miami if you could hang out on a 60-foot yacht while it's being built? Or would you buy one of these homes if you ran into at the open house a guy who used to be on Baywatch?
Hi, guys. Need proof that home sales are slowing? They're giving away pools in Florida, 2-car garages in Virginia, and hired actors to freshen up this open house in California.
And my bathtub.
There are too many new homes, not enough buyers.
It's created some needs for builders to offer incentives that they haven't had to do in the past couple of years.
In Suffolk, Virginia, for example, developers are offering up free media packages to home buyers with flat-screen TVs, or covering closing costs, or just giving away money.
$20,000 on a debit card that allows you to pretty much spend it on what you want. You can take it off the price. You can go shopping with it. You can buy appliance packages, use it for financing.
In Cape Coral, Florida, American Gallery Homes is offering up combinations of incentives that add up to as much as 10 grand to cover mortgage payments or upgrades or furnishings.
What really affected us down here was the escalation of lot prices and then the fall back of lot prices.
Country club memberships, free car leases, they're giving away just about everything except the house itself. Some economists say the incentives smack of panic, but maybe they're working. Home construction bounced back slightly in May. Incentives are clearing out some inventory, but in many markets, buyers are waiting for better deals.
If Builder A is going to do it, then Builder B is going to have to do it, or they're going to be left behind. We may see more of the off-the-wall stuff.
Off the wall, like actors pretending to live in a model home?
This is the master bedroom.
They've tried it at this Syntex development in Southern